Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to News Channel 13's 13 Now, your own personalized YouTube newscast. We break down all the hot stories that are happening around the upstate New York capital region area. I am your friendly local neighborhood anchor, Steve Cooge. With me on weather is nobody, because due to a number of sick calls and other people who just aren't around right now, I'm all by my lonesome. That's not to say I don't have weather for you. Our chief meteorologist, Paul Cana, was nice enough to pity me and record a teaser newscast weather hit. So I am going to play that so you guys will know, if you don't watch us at 11 o'clock here, what the weather is shaping up to be tomorrow and later this week. But before I get to that, let us get to the top story of the day. If you've been watching us the past couple of days, you know already what the big story is. Hudson Valley Community College, their president has now been put on paid leave over a sexual harassment claim that's been made against him. We got a lot of really deep information about that. I'd love to tell you more, but lawyers are involved at this point, and we need to have other authorities confirm some of these details to you before we can tell you exactly what's going on here and what this college president is exactly being accused of doing and who he is accused of doing that sexual harassment to. In the meantime, the union representing the faculty members at Hudson Valley Community College, they are harshly responding to what they call delayed timing over this college president being placed on leave. This comes just 2 days after our 13 Investigates team first reported on sexual harassment claims filed against the president of Hudson Valley Community College, President Roger Ramsamy. The College Board of Trustees voted to put him on paid administrative leave less than 24 hours after our story. So we're getting action done just through the work that we're publishing here at News Channel 13. In the meantime, the HVCC Faculty Association, the union, says they strongly support the Board of Trustees' decision to place President Roger Ramsamy on leave while the sexual harassment claim is investigated. Here's their issue with it. They say, according to the Faculty Association, they're wondering why the president wasn't put on paid leave sooner. In a statement to us, they say, quote, "We are concerned that the board did not place the president on leave at the same time as the employee who filed this complaint against him. Any faculty member facing an allegation would have immediately been placed on leave from the college. This delay allowed President Ramsamy to remain on campus," they say, "and continue to interact with faculty, staff, as well as students, including at all three of the college's commencement ceremonies, which took place on Saturday, May 11th. So they say the union cannot overlook the gravity of this situation and the potential impact it may have had on those involved." So the union there is not upset. Quite upset, excuse me. And the president still on paid leave, so he's making money as this investigation is being looked into over these sexual harassment claims. What I can tell you is this story is far from over. We're going to have a lot more to this. So stick with us here at News Channel 13 for the very latest. And another big story that we're following, over in Schenectady County, more than 150 local immigrant families have now been uprooted yet again. Listen to this. Those families, all 158 people, were ordered to evacuate from the Rotterdam motel, the Super 8, where they've been living since this past July. It was at the beginning of last summer. Roughly 158 migrant individuals were moved into the Super 8 hotel in Rotterdam. Tonight, though, every room there is empty. The entire building is actually empty. The families were forced out because town officials say the building had a number of different deficiencies, including deficiencies to the sprinkler system and issues with the fire control system. Stuff just wasn't working. It wasn't safe to keep people in there. So all those families had to evacuate, basically, is what we're being told. Because they were moved out just last night, a lot of motels in Albany County were unable to provide immediate shelter to people. So we're still trying to figure out just where everybody ended up. Meanwhile, there's about 50 kids who attend the Mohanison School District, which is just right down the road. So these immigrant kids were going there, and the end of school is quickly approaching. There's a number of tests these immigrant children need to be taking. And a lot of them weren't able to make it to school today because they were kicked out of their home, their temporary home, just last night. Still waiting to get an update on this story to figure out where everybody is going to end up permanently here. Big question involved. All right, as we approach the beginning of summer, if you like heading out on lakes, you know what that means. It's boating season. Boating season is practically here, but we do have a reminder from police and also from some people who've endured some tremendous heartaches. Tragedy on the water is often preventable. Let me tell you about one here. There was this kind of tragedy that moved one woman, her name Teresa Dabier Craig, right here. She wanted to make a change. On July 30th, 2016, her 18-year-old son, Sean, here, he drowned at the Great Sacandaga Lake, sadly. This pushed her to create the Sean Craig Memorial Fund. Also, it sent her on a mission to make boating safer overall. The day she stood shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement from across the capital region to simply remind boaters to have a sober captain. I mean, everyone's all for, having fun and having a drink or two when you're out on the boat, but you got to be careful. You can't go drunk boating. Also, you got to have enough life vests and flotation devices on your boat. Starting next year, a safe boating course and certificate will all be required for all boaters in the state of New York, regardless of age. I grew up on boats in Minnesota. My dad and mom were always really into boating. So I can tell you they took the utmost precaution when my younger brother and I were beyond there going on lakes and going fishing. We always had to have life vests on, even when we were good swimmers at the time later on in life, just because you never know when something bad or scary could happen. So want to avoid any of that if possible. Okay, turning now to the weather. If you took a look outside today, you noticed it was cloudy as all heck. Are we going to have any more rain? A lot of places tomorrow are having either bike to work or bike to school events. Obviously, you don't want to bike in the rain. So will you have rain? Here is our chief meteorologist, Paul Cayano, with an answer to that. Paul, take it away.
Well, out at the bus stop tomorrow morning, we'll still have a lot of clouds, but it'll be dry. There'll be some places that see areas of fog, but I don't think this is going to be a huge issue. And before long, we'll start to get some bright spots and more in the way of sunshine coming back through. And Friday will be a step better than it was on Thursday and even better than a couple days ago. So we're heading in the right direction as we head toward the end of the week. The starting point out at the bus stop will be in the lower and middle 50s. We've been tracking this pesky disturbance south of Long Island, throwing moisture back our way through the late afternoon and into the early evening hours. But the trend is to dry things out, and I think that trend will continue into the night tonight. We'll still have the moisture feed, so it may be kind of difficult to clear out all of the clouds. In fact, with that moisture from the Atlantic and temperatures cooling back into the 50s, we may have areas of fog developing by overnight and especially early on Friday morning. But I think that's going to wind up dissipating with drier weather building in behind this low, and that'll hold right on through the day on Friday, keeping it dry, and with some sunshine, we'll be back through the 70s. You can see this next front slicing through the Midwest. Now, I think the brunt of this is going to pivot through the Great Lakes and into southern Canada, only sideswiping us for the day on Saturday. So I put a small chance of showers in for Saturday, but with the understanding that it'll be overwhelmingly dry, and we may have our cloudy periods, but it'll also be mild. So we'll start off in the lower to mid 50s on our Friday, quickly up through the 60s and into the 70s. Notice the in and out sunshine through the day, but it looks like it's going to stay dry all day long. If you have plans late Friday and into Friday evening, it also looks very nice and mild. So the hour-by-hour forecast, notice the drier weather overnight tonight, a mix of sun and clouds during the course of the day on Friday. At this point, we'll turn our attention to that front that'll be tracking through the Midwest and Great Lakes. So we may even have some cloud buildup late Friday night and into Saturday morning. And it's all about how much moisture and how much energy is available at this point. So let's call for some clouds on Saturday, some sunshine mixing in, but also the risk of one or two of these showers flying through here. I don't think anything long-lasting, certainly not heavy in terms of shower action on Saturday, but we do have to put a couple in the forecast as that front will be making its way through during in the afternoon and into the evening. So overnight tonight, back into the 50s. Skies continue to become, let's say, more clear on the partly cloudy sky with areas of fog developing. Tomorrow, back up into the mid-70s with a mix of sun and clouds. So it stays on the mild side with a southeast breeze at 6 to 12. Friday evening, overnight looking good. There's the 20% chance of showers on Saturday. Mainly dry, though, some cloudy periods. Sunday, the better of the two weekend days with highs bouncing into the mid-70s, upper 70s with a lot of sunshine on Monday and a summer-like feel as we head through the middle of next week with high temperatures in the lower 80s.
And who doesn't want a summer-like feel? Temperatures in the 80s already. That's going to be tremendous. Thank you all so much for taking some time out of your evening and hanging out with me. Again, it's a lonely place when you don't have a meteorologist by your side. Again, that's because there are people who are so sick tonight. And as they tell us they're sick, who knows? There could be others who are just, out enjoying it. It is Thirsty Thursday for those college students out there. You know what that means. But it's going to be a good day tomorrow. And looks like we're shaping up for a decent weekend, according to Paul. Thanks again for watching. We're going to be back on News Channel 13 at 11 o'clock. So set your timers. 35 minutes from now, we're going to have your top stories, including updates and everything we talked about here and much more than that. And if I don't see you at 11, thank you so much for giving us your time. Have a great night.